Boh, ciao a tutti ragazzi, bentornati sul canale. Datemi un secondo che devo spostare appena il faretto perché sennò divento cieco. Eh, allora, mi hanno detto che non mi manca poi così tanto a finire Forbidden West. Ora, il mio intento sarebbe quello di godermi il gioco al meglio, cercando di fare anche delle secondarie. Il fatto è che non me lo posso permettere, dato che ho molto poco tempo a disposizione. Intanto condivido il link su, sul gruppo Telegram. Dato che non ho molto tempo a disposizione e il poco tempo che ho a disposizione vorrei dedicarlo alla creazione di contenuti. Quindi il mio obiettivo è quello di finire il prima possibile Forbidden West, senza ovviamente rushare, cioè al momento in cui mi accorgo che sto magari sottolivellato o cose del genere, eh, ovviamente farò qualche secondaria, cose del genere. E al momento in cui l'avrò finito non lo porterò più live e ci giocherò a tempo perso per fare un po' i cazzi miei, ecco, insomma, per viverlo come un momento di relax. Noi nel mentre andiamo avanti.
Guardian.
Allora, potrebbe darsi che ad un certo punto, dato che questa sarà una live abbastanza lunga, io mi alzi e sparisca per tipo 5 minuti. Cercherò di non farlo. Però se avrò bruciore agli occhi, visto che credo di avere un'infiammazione, cioè credo c'ho un'infiammazione, roba del genere, infatti ce ne ho un po' rossi, potrei andarmi a dare le gocce, quelle medicinali, però non si sa mai. Parliamo prima con tutti.
There she is. I hear you found Thebes. How was it?
Maniacs, lava. What's not to like?
I'll remember that next time I go traveling.
At least I got what we needed to trap Hephaestus.
Good thing I got my gear ready then.
Madonna.
Have you spoken with Alva yet?
Yeah, when she's not reading the archives like a giddy kid drinking her first ale. She took to that new focus quick, that's for sure. I gotta say, I'm a little jealous. But I can see why you two hit it off.
Ah, poca roba.
You look tired.
Ha! You never want to hold back, are you? I've just been making sure that I got everything down for this mission of yours. I wouldn't want to be the usual screw-up out there.
You'll do fine, Errant.
Cavolo, pensavo che ci fossero
I should
più
get going.
dialoghi.
As soon as you want us heading out to those cauldrons.
I'll give you the heads up.
From the look on your face, I'd say the mission was a success.
I got Omega clearance. Is everyone ready to head out to Cauldron Gemini?
As soon as you give the word.
Did Alva make it here already?
Our new Quen friend. The moment she laid eyes on the archives, she jumped on them like a long leg.
Sounds about right. Once Gaia is back up and running, I expect you to put all your training to good use.
The seeds have been planted. All they need is a chance to bloom. What? I thought that was pretty good. Zoe liked it.
I'm glad you and Zoe found each other.
Don't forget, you're to blame for that.
Now that I have Omega clearance, we can grab Hephaestus and finally have the advantage over the Zeniths.
Can't wait to see their faces as they stare down a bunch of charging Thunderjaws.
Better them than us, for once. I should go get this to Gaia.
Of course. Let us know when we're needed.
Io nel mentre, raga, ho una questione molto importante da portare avanti tramite telefono.
Welcome back.
Quindi se ogni tanto mi vedete usarlo...
Have you met our new Quen guest yet?
I could barely keep up as she gave herself a tour of the base. Varro gave her a new focus. Though when he told her she was free to access all the data we had here, she turned so pale, I thought she'd faint on the spot. We showed her to the archive room so she could see for herself. She hasn't left the place since.
Sounds like Alba. How are things with everyone?
Slightly quieter. Aaron's been busy scouring data on his newest obsession. Apparently the old ones wrestled machines as some kind of performance. Called it metal versus meat. A must-see battle between steel and flesh, as Aaron likes to put it. You'd think we have enough of that going around as it is.
Raga, stasera dopo probabilmente l'ultimo talk abbiamo lo sponsor, che è di nuovo Monster Energy.
Read anything interesting lately?
I found out the old ones use leaf
Madonna.
infusions like the Utaru do. Tea, they call it. Apparently it helped soothe them. That and some sort of scented wax they use to cleanse their aura. Plus something called bubble baths. Me, I think I'll stick to singing to calm the nerves.
Varl looks pretty focused.
He's been obsessing over the data revealed to us by Poseidon. Just the other day, we read about mountains hiding deep underwater that spew fire. If I understand correctly, Gaia said the flames they release come from the very center of the Earth. Like a heart, beating with the life of the world. As always, the cycle can be found in even the most unlikely of places.
Madonna,
Of
raga,
course,
povero collo.
Varl's mostly interested in watching explosions happen underwater.
Oh, ma quanto vuole chiacchierare questa?
Now that Gaia's merged with it?
Yes. It's been humbling to know that the seeds I carry in this pouch came in turn from the seeds saved for Demeter in the old world. It gives me hope that the cycle of life will prevail now, just as it did before.
I need to get going.
Right.
Che bello, raga, non è neanche maggio, io sono già quasi ustionato.
I'll make sure my gear's ready.
The old ones created so many
Oh,
wonderful
what an
inventions.
image! Aloy,
Right to work, I see.
there's just so much. I mean, we knew of artificial beings that served the ancestors, but Gaia? Oh, she's amazing! And you, a true reincarnation of an ancestor. Genetically speaking, of course, not like the, late CO. And there's more ancestors out there, returned from beyond the stars. Of course, they're trying to kill us, which is not great. And Eric Visser is with them, which is disturbing. And then there's Hephaestus, and...
Okay. How about we take it one step at a time?
You're right. I also owe you an explanation for everything that happened at Landfall.
I imagine you don't know anyone here that well yet, but they're a good group.
It's funny because one of your friends is, well, another you. Not that you are the same person at all. I mean, you are, as in, you're both genetically Elizabeth Sobek, but even so, you're different.
Yeah, we are. I hope everyone's been treating you okay.
Oh, yeah, of course. They've all been extremely welcoming. And they share the knowledge they learn on their focuses with each other freely. It's refreshing. Back home, diviners can only share data with the permission from the overseers.
Sounds restrictive and stifling.
Là.
Yeah, you are not wrong.
I see you've been using your new focus.
It's been fascinating. So much better than the version the Quen have. What would have taken me years to sort through, like the database you helped me recover, with this, I've been able to establish search parameters to speed up the process. This could revolutionize how diviners analyze the legacy. That is, whatever part of it the overseers would actually let us study.
You wanted data, you'll find lots of it here.
A diviner has never had this sort of unsupervised access to archives such as this. And knowing you, I suspect there is much that would normally be forbidden held within them. But I was sent here to help you. I would be remiss to ignore any truth laid before me. Maybe it'll help the Quen find their way back to the path of truth.
Ci sono i volti, le espressioni facciali che sono una goduria, sono fatte troppo bene.
You mentioned Eric Visser? How do you know about him?
The Zenith who tried to kill you? He is known to the Quen as the Protector. Combing through data related to his work led us to breakthroughs related to weapons and military tactics. Knowledge our rulers used to conquer and expand, to become the empire we are today. That's why he's one of our most revered ancestors. But based on your encounter with him, it appears he's even more ruthless than we ever imagined. Yet another distorted interpretation in the legacy.
Well, at least you're piecing together the truth.
If only the overseers back home would do the same.
Beta mentioned other Zeniths. Tilda, Verbena, and Gerard.
I'm afraid I don't know anything about them. Whatever legacy they left behind, the diviners haven't recovered.
Madonna.
Back at the greenhouse, you spoke of knowledge forbidden to your people.
Diviners are meant to seek out the truth in the legacy, and many Imperials sponsor them in the hopes they'll find something the Empire can put to use, thus gaining favor with the Emperor. But the Board of Overseers claims certain truths are detrimental to the stability of the Empire, like discovering one of our revered ancestors ended the world. That is why diviners are only allowed to access segments of the legacy. Only overseers can view it all. It ensures that any heretical data can be contained and retrieved before it can spread.
What happens to diviners who break the rules?
I never had the courage to ask.
Che coglione.
You said you owed me an explanation for what happened in Thebes. I'm listening.
Right. I'll start at the beginning with the CO. He was an Imperial, the Emperor's nephew, in fact. As such, he sponsored many diviners to search the legacy for anything that might help the tribe, and himself. He took a special interest in anything related to Ted Farrow, whom we consider the greatest of the ancestors.
Ted Farrow, revered ancestor. That's tough to take.
I know better now, of course. Anyway, the diviners discovered that Farrow spent a great deal of time in San Francisco. In fact, many of the most important ancestors did. So the Emperor's nephew convinced him that an expedition across the ocean might solve our most pressing problems. If only we could find the right data in this fabled city. Perhaps we could roll back the floods and storms that threatened our people. The Emperor declared that all the tribe's resources be poured into this endeavor. Dozens of ships were built, scouting missions were dispatched, and the Emperor's nephew was named CO, one who wields the legacy for the good of the Empire, the living embodiment of Ted Farrow, a renewer. It may seem strange now, but for a time, he carried all of our hopes. We really believed he would save us.
Perché l'ignoranza gli mette un velo davanti. Ogni tanto giro la chat che non vorrei facesse delle cazzate.
You said the expedition across the sea was more dangerous than you thought it would be. What happened?
We lost most of our ships to hurricanes, and scores of soldiers perished to hunger and disease. And that was before we even hit the coast. Once we landed,
Navigare non
machines
è
ripped
facile.
our patrols apart, and we struggled to replenish our rations. There were bright spots, to be sure. We found Thebes and the greenhouse, but nothing improved the CEO's mood as his dreams of saving the tribe were slowly dashed. He became more and more obsessed with Thebes and what lay behind its door, and more convinced that the title of CEO was no mere honorific. You heard him, spouting nonsense about Pharaoh's essence and some kind of becoming. We knew these weren't the words of a sane man, but he was quick to put any who spoke out in front of a firing squad.
What a great guy.
The Quen are wrong about many things when it comes to the legacy. I can see that now. But what the CEO became was a complete perversion of what principal diviners stand for. The pursuit of truth. I'm sorry you had to endure his madness. I'm just glad it's over. For everyone.
Beh, è stato spiattellato. Cazzo, ci sono 1000
So,
dialoghi.
Bohai, your overseer. Will he run things better than CEO?
He won't execute people on a whim, if that's what you mean. But he's hardly a paragon of integrity. I can't tell you how many times he took credit for data in the legacy that I uncovered. The best thing I can say about him is that he can be trusted to always do what's best for him.
Yep, sounds about right.
Ottimo. Tutta gente
The ancestors, is that
Pulita.
what your people call the old ones?
Yes and no. The ancestors are the greatest of the old ones. Those whose legacy taught us agriculture, medicine, warfare, leadership, and patronage of the science and arts.
The CEO called Elizabeth Sobek an assistant. What's that about?
Right. Well, any old one who has made minor contributions or worked extensively under one of the ancestors is called an assistant. That's how we thought of Sobek, until we met you. Our limited access to data past the late 2040s has obviously misinformed our view of the past.
You mentioned the reason you came here was to help your family. Your sister...
Her name is Alika. Our parents are commoners, peasants, really. When I passed the divination exams, they were so proud. It brought honor to our family and increased rations. Only Alika begged me not to leave for the research academy.
Why? What happens there?
Alika knew that once you enter, you're not allowed to leave or see anyone, not even your family. Unless you can get special permission and an escort by an overseer.
It sounds harsh.
Like the focuses we keep, diviners are few in number, and the Empire is, well, fearful that outsiders will try to steal our knowledge. Last time I was allowed to see my family was just before our voyage here. Because of my position, I was able to get them refuge from the floods within the capital. But if our crops don't recover soon, they'll starve to death along with everyone else.
I promise I'll do my best to make sure it doesn't come to that. I need to
I
get
have to
going,
go.
but if you need
Quasi.
anything,
All I need is to help you succeed in your mission. The plan Gaia told me about, to capture Hephaestus, it will help set things right.
I hope so.
Then I will do whatever I can. I promise.
Troppo simpatica sta tipa.
Welcome back.
Welcome
Hey.
back.
I know your experience in Thebes was unsettling, but we have a new problem.
Did something go wrong with Beta and the rig? Will we be able to transport you to Gemini?
The rig is complete. The problem is Hephaestus itself. It has accelerated its proliferation throughout the Cauldron network, increasing its power.
But with your sub-functions restored, we can still succeed, right?
Correct. but the net effect is that absorbing Hephaestus will take longer than previously calculated.
How long?
Even with Omega clearance, my current estimate is that the merge will take 35 hours.
And each hour increases the risk of detection by the Zeniths. Two cores. Two overrides. What if the merge were carried out by two clones of Elizabeth Sobek, both armed with Omega clearance? How long then? Half the time?
Hephaestus would be unprepared for the simultaneous labor of two operators, in addition to obvious synergetic efficiencies. Calculating. It would reduce the merge time to approximately 4.5 hours.
Okay. Varl, it looks like we're gonna need Beta at Gemini. Do you think you can convince her?
I don't know, but I'll try.
What about our diversion? Are the pulse generators ready?
Only a final test remains. I am confident that if fired in proximity to other cauldrons, the pulses will mask our activities at Gemini from the Zeniths.
Good. As long as Aaron can operate one without shooting himself in the face.
Aloy, you better get down here. Beta's in bad shape.
Okay.
Come fa ad essere messa male?
Anybody seen one of my machine strike pieces around?
Ah già, stava di sotto.
Aloy. I tried, but it's impossible. I don't think anything will convince her to go.
We don't have a choice.
Good luck.
Beta, you have to come with us. It's the only way. It's one mission. The most important one. We need you. Tell me why you won't go. What if they take me back? Alone. In a cell again. Their slave. Forever. Varl and I will be at Gemini too. I'll protect you. As soon as we get Hephaestus, we'll come straight back here. The Zeniths aren't going to find us. You don't have to be afraid. No! You can't protect me. Nothing can protect me from them. I told you from the beginning we'll never beat them. It's hopeless. Beta. Leave me alone! You don't understand! You're right. I don't understand. We have the same genes, the same mind, the same heart. So why can't you find the strength to do what has to be done? Like Elizabeth would. Don't you think I've thought about that? I don't know what piece of Elizabeth I'm missing. I don't know what you have that I don't. I look through all the data from your focus. You were raised as an outcast, shunned, and isolated just like me, so what's the difference? What's my defect?
Non sono i geni che definiscono una persona, è tutto il vissuto.
Beta, you don't have a defect. Beta, look, it's not a piece of Elizabeth. The difference is, I had him. Frost. He raised you, trained you, but he was never warm or loving. The day he died, the day he gave you that charm, he was going to abandon you. He wanted me to embrace the tribe. But then he gave his life for mine. He loved me in his own way. And that was enough. What did it feel like? It was like having a strength that was always there. It's still there. Even now I hear him in my head when things get bad. When it looks impossible, look deeper. And then fight like you can win.
Bello.
You don't have to go on the mission. We'll find another way. I'll go. You said you'd try to protect me. I believe you. But you have to promise me one thing. Yes, of course. If it goes bad, if the Zeniths find us, I don't want to be their slave again. Do you understand? Okay. Promise? I promise. I could use as much time as you can give me to study up on the merge, to make it as efficient as possible. I'll be ready when you are. I swear.
Aloy, whenever you are ready, come speak to me and I'll ask the others to make final preparations for the mission.
Ragazzi, è venuta fuori una delle cazzate più cazzate veramente che mi siano mai venute fuori. Cioè, se lei dovesse avere un rapporto con Beta, non sarebbe niente, cioè sarebbe masturbazione, sono la stessa persona. Ma come non so, per me ci vuole del genio per certe cose. Che cazzo.
Aloy, everything okay with you and Beta? It sounded like you guys had a, lively conversation.
We just had a lot to talk about.
Does this mean she's coming with us to Gemini?
It does. I hope you're ready to rein in the most stubborn AI of all time.
That's what all this was for, wasn't it?
Hephaestus won't go down quietly.
Hephaestus is just a program that's lost its way. We are fighting for our survival. I can always call upon the goddess if you're nervous.
Funny. How does everyone seem to you?
Anxious, but ready. I heard Katalo ask for Alva's help with his pulse generator. And I know he's been helping her with a few fighting techniques, just in case.
I hope they aren't needed.
Like I said, just in case.
Any last findings you want to share before leaving?
Not really. Though I've reached a decision.
Oh?
When we put Gaia together, I want to return to the Nora. Spread what I've learned.
You think they'll listen to you?
In time, I believe so.
If anyone can make it happen, it's you, Varl. What will you and Zoe do if you go back to the Embrace?
I hope she'll come with me. At least for a while. And I'll go with her to Plainsong too. She'll probably want to talk to her people about all this as well. We'll figure it
Secondo
out.
me te non ci arrivi da nessuna parte. Se devo puntare su un personaggio che muore nel finale è proprio lui. Ce l'hanno fatto vedere a inizio gioco, ci ha accompagnato, ci ha seguito un compagno fedele, un grande amico, destinato a morire, secondo me.
I hope firing off those pulse generators will be enough to distract the Zeniths.
It'll work. It has to.
Always optimistic, huh?
Nah, just stubborn. It's a good quality to have when dealing with you.
Yeah, right.
Rost!
You're right, you know, about keeping Rost's memories buried. I guess part of me thought he was holding me back, because he wanted me to be a Nora. But the truth is, he gave me a lot. And I took him for granted.
He was a good man. He raised you well.
I'm glad you're coming with me, Varl.
Sure there's no urge to run off alone in there somewhere?
No more running.
Ma a me sembra quasi di essere nelle battute finali, perché se devo parlare con tutti che ce ne stiamo andando, che cazzo è? Oh.
Hey, we'll be going after Hephaestus soon. You good with the plan?
I've already got the location of my assigned cauldron.
Good.
I heard you and Beta had a talk.
News travels fast.
It wasn't exactly a quiet conversation.
There were just things that needed to be said.
A healthy crop to those who clear the weeds between them. As the
Fammi
alternatives.
capire, ci sono le porte di acciaio spesse, porca puttana, 30 centimetri e questi si sentono da 100 metri di distanza.
You look like you have something on your mind.
We're going to war soon. And war is something I promised myself I'd left behind in the Red Raids. But the more of your data I go through, every voice I hear, every word I read from our ancient past, it makes me realize just how much life was given so that ours could flourish. Fighting for that gift, it's our responsibility. If we fail, it was all for naught.
Helps to know you're not alone.
For a moment there, you sounded like Varl.
I don't know what you're talking about. I should go.
As soon as you intend to leave for Gemini,
You'll hear about it. Hey, I thought I'd check in before leaving for Gemini.
Are you sure we shouldn't be checking up on you? Whatever went on between you and Beta sounded intense. Not that I'm judging. Forge knows all the screws flew loose every time Mercer and I fought.
I think we'll be fine from now on.
I'm glad to hear it.
Anybody take you up on that ale you brought yet?
Zoe can't stand the smell of it. I tried Alva, but I don't think she knows what taking a break means. And I'm not putting Varl anywhere near that stuff after
La
that
staccano
victory party
vista.
in Meridian.
What about Catalo?
Ah, now there's a man that can hold his liquor. Pretty sure we downed half a keg. We had a good chat, I think.
After we get Hephaestus, we'll be taking the fight to the Zeniths. So, no more reading.
Ah, it wasn't that bad. Not really. Besides, going through all that data helped me realize something. You know, the soldiers, the ones that fought the Pharaoh machines so Gaia could be built, they were fighting a battle that couldn't be won. Not with all the weapons in the world. I think most of them realized that, whether anyone said it or not. They still did it, though. They bought time for all the eggheads working to save the future. Our future. As long as I can do that for you, I'll consider myself a success.
Thank you, Erend. I'm glad you're with me.
Okay, enough. I'm gonna get emotional.
I should go.
That same here. I got a date with a cauldron to prepare for.
Namu! Devo giustificare perché secondo me muore Varl. Secondo me muore, te lo dico in diretta davanti a tutti, perché c'è da inizio gioco. Ce l'abbiamo dal gioco precedente, che è stato un compagno fedele, un grande amico, ci ha seguito di qua e di là e secondo me darà la vita per la causa. Te lo dico io.
Hello
So,
again, Aloy.
are you ready to go, Aloy?
Hello, Aloy.
Hey, Gaia. So, me and Beta. Guess you heard what happened.
Yes. I am continuously impressed by the complexity of human relationships. Despite the unpleasant circumstances that led to your quarrel, I am pleased to see you have both found an agreeable resolution.
Well, 2 heads are better than 1, right?
Yes, I believe so. Are you ready to depart for Cauldron Gemini? Or we can continue our conversation, if you like.
Have you been able to make use of Demeter's functions?
Dobbiamo
Yes.
chiedere tutto
I was
per
able
avere
to
più
mitigate
contesto
most soil
possibile.
conditions and restore a temporary balance. You should notice less rampant plant growth in the area.
Maybe that'll give Plainsong's fields a chance to recover.
Unfortunately, recovery in that area is unlikely without the assistance of the Utaru's land gods. I have discussed this matter with Zoe. I believe we may have a workaround.
Eh sì, abbiamo una
Yeah.
quest.
I'm helping her out with that.
No, in realtà non stai aiutando.
There's something I'm still trying to figure out. Why was Demeter using flying machines to distribute metal flowers?
In its deranged state, Demeter was defending itself against a robotic swarm that would devour all plant life.
It thought the Pharaoh Plague was still happening?
It feared it would come again. As part of its directive of receding Earth's vegetation, it sought to protect plant life at all costs. And considering it had 20 years to proliferate, I expect you will continue to find the fruits of its efforts for some time.
That's a good thing I have the code to dissolve the vines, then. The missing subordinate functions. What can you tell me about them?
Che cazzo c'hanno i sottotitoli?
Artemis rewilded the Earth with a variety of animal species. Eleuthia was responsible.
Oh, ma che fai?
For gestating
Ma sei
and
buggato.
nurturing a new generation of human beings. Apollo was tasked with preserving, organizing, and disseminating vast archives of human knowledge and cultural achievements. Unfortunately, all archived Apollo data was purged on the 2nd of February, 2066, by order of Ted Farrow.
Ted. Guess he got what he deserved, in the end.
Yes. An igneous conclusion to his pathological narcissism, impulsive tendencies, and instability.
All 3 of the missing functions have already served their purpose, or were prevented from doing so. Do you still need them?
Restoring their remaining elements would increase
Ma
my
perché mi
heuristic
metti sta
processing
cosa
density,
nera?
empowering my overall function. Unfortunately, as we now know they are in the possession of Far Zenith, attaining them in the short term is very likely impossible.
I guess our best shot at recovering them is by taking over the Zenith base. But we'll need Hephaestus and a bunch of combat machines to do that.
Ok, quindi credo che sia pre-finale andare da Efesto, prendere Efesto, fare un esercito e andare contro gli Zenith.
The Zeniths. Gerard, Eric, Tilda, Verbena. Beta said they were some of the most powerful people on Earth. I think Elizabeth knew one of them. Tilda. Did she ever mention her to you?
Tornati normali, Sab.
Elizabeth often spoke of her work, or told stories of her mother and her childhood. If she knew this Tilda, she did not disclose it with me. What we can conclude from your and Beta's experiences is that the Zeniths are ruthless in pursuit of their goal. To protect life on Earth, they must be stopped.
So, about Beta. I never really saw the difference between us until now. She's been through so much. Completely alone.
You have both endured many hardships. Different in almost every respect, yet equally remarkable. I like to think of you as two miracles, born of Elizabeth Sobek.
3, then. Let's not forget about you, Gaia.
Beh,
All this data I've picked up in ancient bunkers and ruins. I guess I never really thought that other people would be looking at it.
Based on my observations, your companions engage quite frequently with this material. Erend has asked on numerous occasions about birthday parties. He appears perplexed by the tradition of serving a sweet confection, as it conflicts with the Oseram tradition of serving sparkling stout ale. He also suggested we host a party for you, as a surprise.
Yeah, no thanks.
That is what I predicted.
Is Katalo getting along with everyone?
Yes, though he prefers to spend most of the time alone. He appears to be collating data on war machine progression and significant battles during the Pharaoh Plague, to aid in the creation of a war map of Operation Enduring Victory. I believe he aims to study the tactics of Old World warfare.
I'd be interested in seeing that.
It appears to be a private pastime for him. He has repeatedly declined my offers to assist his research.
matto.
How's all of us settling in?
As soon as she arrived, Alva was eager to study the data in the archive. A particular file soon caught her attention. Information about a machine assistant devoted to keeping living spaces neat and orderly. I informed her that once I am empowered with the abilities of Hephaestus, I may be able to design such a machine.
I'm sure she'll like that. So our
Cazzo,
plan to
sbagliato.
capture Hephaestus. Let's go over it again.
As you wish. Thanks to Beta's test, you now
Beta
know that
test.
Hephaestus will not respond to your alpha clearance.
Che battuta di merda.
Which is why I got Ted Pharaoh's Omega clearance.
Correct. While you were gone, Beta constructed the transport rig and pulse generators. When we get to Gemini, I will need to be installed on one of the facility's cores. The second core is for Hephaestus. Using Omega clearance will allow you to trap it.
And then you'll be able to absorb it.
Not quite. You will need to manually remove Hephaestus's malicious code before the merge.
How long will that take?
Because the work will be split between you and Beta, it will take approximately 4.5 hours.
And during that time, the others will create a distraction for us using the pulse generators, right?
Correct. They will each take position at a cauldron door and fire off their device. The energy surge should mask our activities until the merge is complete.
And then we'll have everything we need to defeat the Zeniths. Sounds like a plan.
Minchia, hai detto niente.
When I set out to find a way to bring you back, I never thought we'd be here, like this. Among friends.
They have all come a long way with their improvised educations. Varl has suggested that one day we might extend this model to more tribal inhabitants, once the biosphere has been stabilized.
Yeah, that's not such a bad idea. As long as you're the one running the lessons. So now that you have Ether, Demeter, and Poseidon, how's the biosphere looking?
In the local region, conditions have improved. Superstorms have subsided. Water sources have been purified, and soil conditions remediated. These improvements will stave off environmental collapse for a few additional months.
Well, with luck, soon you'll have Hephaestus. Then you'll be able to fix the biosphere for good, right?
Correct. I will be able to design and produce robotic agents to permanently reverse the environmental damage that has accumulated.
There's something I've been wondering. How could Ted Faro create a clearance level higher than Alpha? Elizabeth made sure he wouldn't interfere with the project.
It is plausible he tasked his own engineers with creating a back door to the Zero Dawn system, without Elizabeth's knowledge. My predecessor did not even know of its existence, until he activated it to purge the Apollo database. It is, in effect, a blind spot. One that will allow us to subdue Hephaestus.
Oh, Jesus.
Gaia? What was Elizabeth like?
Her presence is interwoven with my memories. The moment I came online, she was there. We exchanged greetings, names, then set to our task. It was the first of many conversations. I enjoyed being in her company, listening to her stories. She was my creator, my guide.
Your friend.
Yes. When I reviewed the data on your focus, I was saddened to learn of her fate, though I am glad she made it home. I deeply wish she did not have to be alone.
She was okay with that. She gave all of herself. Did all that she could. Thanks, Gaia. So Gemini has 2 data cores. I've never seen a cauldron like that. But you mentioned something about seismic activity?
When my predecessor attempted to build the cauldron, construction was disrupted by a series of earthquakes. The data core had already been built, so she began again. A second core was built.
Lucky for us.
No, though they did also create instabilities in other facilities.
So the facility where I recovered Demeter used to be a Faro agricultural research facility. It's where they created the biomass conversion system, but also adamantine wreath.
Oh.
Did Elizabeth know they were working on that?
It is likely she was briefed on, though her focus was devoted only to...
That makes sense. If they've been able to deploy it against the...
Using the data you recovered, I ran several simulations. In all scenarios, deactivate the wreath before they could contain the sword.
So Zero Dawn really was...
Sono riusciti anche a contestualizzare il fatto, cioè a non rendere Elizabeth un personaggio che ha sbagliato, andando a darti tipo queste opzioni per le quali tu dici ok, però avrebbero potuto fare così, cosa? No, questa ti smonta tutto. Fanboy maledetta di Elizabeth Sobek.
There was a lot of data in the greenhouse facility about agriculture.
I will run a query. Complete. The data contains information about novel crop production methods, which may be beneficial.
But new crops aren't going to save the world, so I guess it's on us.
Oh, merda.
So I found thieves.
It seems he convinced himself it was, given the tribal nature and his ability to use Omega. I imagine he would have convinced one or more to worship him.
Okay.
Anch'io, sono
That
sicurissimo.
didn't happen. Aside from Gaia Prime and Thebes, there was one other underground facility that was sealed before the Pharaoh Plague reached it. Elysium. The place where Zero Dawn staff and their families went to live out their lives. Do you know what happened to it?
Elysium was designed to provide life support for 100 years. My data indicates the facility went off.
Did the Pharaoh Plague find them?
Unknown.
I found some data in one of the... It mentioned that there are still functional seed... Why is it there?
My predecessor was tasked with primary and secondary. Had everything gone according to plan, been able to introduce tertiaries.
Can we access them now?
Unfortunately, it will in order to access and distribute.
And for that we need Hephaestus. So what will happen to this place?
All systems within this facility, as Minerva will no longer... The facility will be exposed, though without my presence, it is unlikely...
Let's hope so.
Andiamo.
Okay, people. It's time to head out.
I'll get everyone together.
Che bello, tutti insieme. Fantastico. Come è presa l'ansia che possa non sentirsi l'audio?
All right, connections in place. Booting up.
Beta, Aloy. I am fully installed on this core and ready to connect to the Cauldron network.
It's good to hear your voice.
Brava.
Errand, everyone. Fire your pulses and sound off.
I'm at my cauldron. This thingy, it's blinking. Did I do it right? In position at my cauldron. My pulse generator is blinking also.
That means they're working. I'm in position, and mine is too. Mine as well.
Okay. Radio silence until I give the all clear. Signing off. Gaia, let's cage the beast.
Connecting to the Cauldron network now.
Elizabeth Sobek, Alpha Prime, activating Omega clearance. Elizabeth Sobek, Alpha Prime, activating Omega clearance.
Clearance confirmed. Initiating containment sequence.
Critical threat detected. Escape containment. Applying countermeasures.
Lock it down!
Terminating external connections.
It's working. It's got nowhere to go.
Capture imminent. Initiate contingency 13F.
Wait, what's that?
Malware detected. Attempting to compensate.
It's cracked.
Look!
Activated. Engage. Autonomous defenses.
E mo so cazzi.
Neutralize.
That means machines are on their way. Get ready.
Here they come!
For'll stay here. Protect Beta.
Got it!
Be careful.
Stay back.
Acqua.
Get back. Over here, you.
Aloy, help!
Ma quello stronzo dovrebbe proteggere...
Over here. Draw it away from Beta.
Madonna, ma... porco dio, però... Ora, va bene, io l'ho affrontata nel migliore dei modi, perché mi sono sperso da un'altra parte. Ma te stai lì, stai, Cristo, cosa te ne vai da femminare?
We'll stay here. Protect Beta.
Got it.
Be careful.
No, abbiamo preso uno schiaffo non indifferente. Oh figlio di puttana.
He's holding it back. Now's my chance.
No! Mo ci credo, no? Mannaggia la troia.
I'll stay here.
Aspetta un attimo,
Protect Beta.
Got it.
Be careful.
Vabbè, oh, io mi sono rotto il cazzo malissimo.
Stay back.
Andiamo bene. A sto coso c'è da stare assolutamente lontani. Credo che mi concentrerò prima su quel bastardello di là. Provo a staccargli il cannone e magari ad utilizzare il cannone suo.
Protect Beta.
Qui cosa ci sarà?
Be careful.
Un botto di roba.
Stay back.
Aloy, help!
Get back.
Madonna, quante cazzo di botte? Ecco. Vabbè, non è possibile. Non è possibile. Cioè, veramente non è possibile. La scelta di staccargli l'arma è sicuramente saggia. Il problema è che una volta che gli stacchi l'arma ti sta addosso.
I'll stay here. Protect Beta.
Got it.
Be careful.
Stay back.
perché non spara? Madonna, ce l'ho tutti addosso io.
Stay back. Get back.
Roy? Help!
Over here, you!
Ah, non puoi fare contro Crude. Sì che puoi. Cazzo. Oh, vai via! Madonna. Ma guarda dove cazzo sta l'arma. Mannaggia. Merda. Non so neanche io cosa ho fatto. Ci manca come un incastro. Ma che cazzo fa? Cioè, limite se l'arma di quel cazzo là poteva andare in un punto peggiore di quello.
You two okay?
Still breathing.
Aloy, Hephaestus can't escape, but it must have fled. Deeper into the facility. I'll drive it back here.
Allora. L'ideale, secondo me, adesso è prendere più oggetti curativi possibile. Ora grande.
I'll get the cracked core fixed in the meantime. Keep her safe.
All my life.
Aia. L'hai detto. Ok, andiamo. Che prurito. Dov'è nel caldero? Ah sì, è salito. Di là. No! L'hai letto? Non dormi? Vabbè. Buonanotte.
I gotta chase after Hephaestus. Force it out of wherever it's hiding. Make it retreat to the core. No, you don't, Hephaestus! I'll find another way over.
Aloy, I'm patched into your focus feed. You should know there's a huge power draw coming from the next chamber.
Thanks for the heads up. I'm almost there.
Cazzo devo fare?
How to get up there.
Mica scemi, quindi.
Some kind of production chamber. Festus is up to something, all right?
Quel figlio di puttana sta per farmi fare una
What kind
bossa.
of machine is it trying to build?
I don't know, but I'm gonna shut it down. I bet those metal carriers will lead me to where it's getting materials from.
I think that's where Festus is hiding too.
Looks like there are a couple of places to go. Well, that doesn't sound good. Machines are making a thinning for another chamber. I better follow them.
bel bug.
I should be able to catch a ride on one of those metal carriers. Damn it!
To rewire most of the components in the core, but the energy processor's cracked. Without a way to fabricate another, there's no way I can fix it.
Okay, let me think. What if you bypass the processor? Connect it to
the power node? I think that could work.
I think it could.
Forse posso saltare di là. Ok, sì. Issa.
There should be a node you can override near the central platform.
Thanks. I should deal with these machines first.
Cazzo. E questa? Dimmi. No. Aspetta. Pezzo di infame. Ma che cazzo sono quelli? Porco due. Ma avevo ricaricato. Mannaggia però. Mamma mia. Ci serve una bella scorta di vicinanza.
Machines on the way. Beta! Hephaestus has locked me out of the node. Any ideas?
I'll see what I can do.
questo non era previsto. Porco dici. Mi sembra così facile sta scena.
Out. Everything.
Porca puttana. Non ho mai usato a dovere le esplosioni risonanti. Facciamoci un po' di materiale, no? Madonna. Sì, vabbè. Praticamente arrivano ovunque.
Plasma's gonna blow.
I tapped into the core's network hub. I managed to disrupt Vestis' control of the node. You should be able to override it now.
Nice. Thanks.
È un casino, non posso craftare un cazzo.
Sounds like it fled to another chamber.
Well, I better not get comfortable.
Abbiamo soltanto 4 oggetti medicinali che non è proprio il massimo, quindi facciamo un giretto. Una cassa di scorte, questa ci fa comodo. E vai, mangiamo un cazzo dopo. Ma che c'ho punti abilità per caso? Eh sì, ne ho 6. Vediamo se avevo qualcosa per aumentare le pozioni. Questo sicuramente ci servirà. Non abbiamo il guanto. Non abbiamo quasi mai la salute bassa perché ci curiamo spesso. 2, 3, quello ci rimarrebbe fuori. Vediamo cacciatore cosa abbiamo. Quello potrebbe tornarci utile, però vediamo se abbiamo qualcosa con i danni da mischia. Questo penso che possa tornarci utile. Vabbè, ci può stare.
Great. Hephaestus covered the floor with lightning. I gotta find a way over it.
Aloy! More machines keep coming! Please tell me you're getting close!
I'm working on it. I've been smashing through a lot of machines on my side, too.
I guess Aaron's missing out!
Anyway, I'm making progress on the bypass, but I need something to hold the cycling module together.
Maybe a ligament from one of the machine carcasses?
Right? Or some luminous braiding.
And you could reinforce it with a conversion cylinder.
For increased connectivity! I think we can do this, Aloy.
No. Ah, vabbè. Fine fa. Ma cazzo ci arriviamo di là? Dobbiamo andare proprio di lì. Perfetto, doveva entrargli nell'occhio. Cazzo è? Debole a fuoco e acqua. Tapiro del cazzo. fatto che ci siano questi cunicoli e che l'arena sia così grande non è incoraggiante.
Oh, here we go again.
E cazzo!
That doesn't sound good. I'll try to get your access back.
Debole contro ghiaccio. Brutto lurido. Cazzo. Questo è debole contro il fuoco. Ok.
Stop walking already. Credo che questo sia il metodo per risparmiare più risorse possibili. just running out of places to hide.
Aloy? I just registered a huge energy surge back in the production chamber.
Chissà che cazzo c'è.
Something big is happening.
Here too. Everything's glowing.
The machine Hephaestus was building. It must have finished it.
It's powerful, whatever it is. I'm almost done with the core repairs. Should we come to you? Maybe I could distract the machine if...
No, Beta. Just stay where you are, okay? Handling the machine's my job.
Okay. Be safe.
Intruder target. Capture, repair, Coleman Tower. Infiltrating Coleman.
Sì, vabbè, questo avrà partorito il demonio. Ah, dai. Guarda quante cazzo di risorse mi hanno dato. Porca puttana. Vediamo un po' cosa intanto possiamo mettere. Allora, il mio arco principale è questo. Io ci ho messo lacerazione componente. Abbiamo qualcosa che aumenta i danni? Caduto scivolate, aumenta i danni, lacerazione componente. Fanculo. Ok. C'è un cazzo alla fin fine da aggiornare. Vestito mio, eccolo qua. No, dai. Disastro. Senza quei componenti lì è veramente un disastro. Vabbè, andiamo, dai. Che cazzo tira fuori? Sapevo che avrebbe tirato fuori uno di questi cosi qui. Spina morta.
This thing's on its legs are glowing. I think it's charging up. It finished charging. It's covered in purple.
Non ho mai affrontato uno. Penso che provare a staccargli qualche componente sia buono.
We got plasma on me. It's gonna explode any second. Maybe one of my potions can help. I can keep going.
Madonna, è veramente forte sto coso. Non è debole, no? Cioè non è resistente al plasma, sì, è resistentissimo. Merda. Vattene! Che sai che non mi ha one-shottato?
Charging up again. You fall up.
Ok, studiamoci un attimo cosa cazzo possiamo usare contro sta cosa. Mamma mia. Allora, voglio vederlo nel taccuino senza perdere tempo. Intanto mi mancano alcune macchine. Eccolo qui. Però ad esempio non è forte contro i danni, fulmine e plasma, è resistente a tutti i danni elementali. È debole contro l'acqua, quindi possiamo anche pensare di mettere la fionda, quella che fa danni ad acqua, al posto di quella adesiva. Questa.
Maybe curse water can go over the
Veramente forte questo. Mamma mia, se forte. Devo trovare una roccia più grande. C'ha quasi danni da... Mi è andata addirittura bene che Madonna, si muove un botto. Porco Dio. Questo ho veramente paura di non riuscire a farlo, ve lo giuro. Sono sicuro che c'è qualcosa che ci può servire. Questi cosi di fianco che si ricaricano. Indistruttibile. Ah, che male, cazzo. Chi lo schiva? È schivabile. Porco Dio. Cazzo, ma che uguale. Muoio. Muoio. No, forse no. Porco Dio. Ma che cazzo però. Ah, puttana di... No dai raga. No, ci lasciamo le penne qua. Peccato. Stavamo quasi in fondo. Forse riusciamo a non morire. Dio. Infattibile per me. Credo di essere...
Grab this on the go.
Sono finite quasi sotto. Porco due, cazzo! Ma che cazzo però! Non può continuare così, dai. È morto.
It's done.
Tu bastardo.
You did it! There should be one more note to override.
Good. Stand by. I'm sending Hephaestus back to you.
Madonna mia. Porca puttana.
No more hiding, Hephaestus!
Got it! Hephaestus is back in the core!
Make sure it stays there. I'm heading back.
And then we can start the merge.
Because of you, Beta. I'm glad you came along. And you, Laurel. We couldn't have done any of this without you.
Right back at you, Aloy.
Ora, mettere una seconda boss fight qui, senza darti la possibilità di fare risorse, non ha senso. Non siamo in un Souls. Quindi non mi aspetto, cioè mi aspetto che succeda qualcosa a livello narrativo che ti lascia così. Aia. Però non mi aspetto che succeda.
Aloy, the core is stable. Hephaestus is 100% contained. Now we better get started with the merge. It's all set up. Gaia, establish the link, please.
Done.
To complete the merge, we need to excise Hephaestus' malicious code. Carefully.
È possibile che mi faccia male una sola eco?
Aloy, look!
L'orecchio è un disastro. Mamma mia.
Well, hello, redundant copy. You cost us quite a lot of time. Eric, get Beta. And squash that bug while you're at it. Ooh!
Get behind me.
Come on! Quit screwing around.
Now we're having fun, right?
Ole!
Finally. Tilda, get Gaia and Hephaestus ready for transport. Tilda!
I failed.
Hush. All is not lost.
Tilda! What the hell are you doing? Stop her! I can't even see her!
Beta. Farrell. Where am I?
Ah, you're awake. You took quite a hit when Gerard attacked you. I imagine you must still be in a great deal of pain. I can assure you that we are safe. The others can't detect us here.
You mean the other Zeniths? You must be Tilda.
I wasn't sure if Beta would have told you about me.
Where is she?
Alive. And while she isn't where she wants to be, not in urgent danger. We must discuss how to get her back, of course, after you've shaken off the cobwebs. When you're ready, take the stairs down the hall and come see me. In the meantime, I'll make breakfast.
Breakfast. Okay.
Credo che siamo a fine gioco. Quindi non andrei troppo avanti.
What is this?
Just a few favorites from my collection. Rescued and stored here just before I went off-world. Take a look, if you like. I'm curious to hear your impressions.
My friend is dead. Beta and Gaia are gone, and you want me to look at old paintings?
Don't be so quick to dismiss the comfort we can find in art, or the insight we might gain. My favorite pairing on the left is Woman Reading a Letter by Vermeer, a true master. And on the right is a forgery, Woman Reading Music, which fooled experts into believing it was a priceless original. Early in my career, I became fascinated with such deceptions. Eventually, I developed scanning software that could detect fakes with unparalleled accuracy.
Is that how you made enough money to buy your way onto the Odyssey?
Beh, ma come fai a definire un falso?
I made my real fortune later.
Quindi questo l'abbiamo esaminato.
Selene and Endymion. She's the goddess of the moon, whereas he's a simple shepherd. Beside her is the god of love, Cupid.
So she's sneaking up on him?
More like visiting him in secret. The torch that Cupid bears represents Selene's undying infatuation with him. Though the two must remain apart, her love will forever burn. This is Rembrandt painting Jeremiah, a man in mourning.
Mourning what?
His home. The ancient city of Jerusalem. He foresaw its impending doom, but could do nothing to prevent it. So instead, he saved its treasures from destruction, just as I saved these works. You could say we're kindred spirits. A portrait of the painter, Rembrandt's son Titus, depicted in the habit of a monk.
I don't get it. Why would someone like you, with infinite resources, care about this painting of a boy in a hood?
It's not the image itself, but the feeling it conveys. The face is bright and defined, but his eyes are downcast, heavy with misfortune. And the background seems to swallow all light. The painting is infused with a sense of loss.
I guess I understand how the painter feels.
Rembrandt's The Night Watch, by far the most famous painting my homeland ever produced. It was commissioned to honor a militia made up of influential citizens.
I guess you must have been an influential citizen.
In my day. But not as influential as you've been in this new world.
Bello, questo lo vorrei in casa.
By Willem van de Velde, the most famous of his many maritime paintings.
A ship crossing into the unknown. I guess you're familiar with that.
Indeed, which is why I appreciate this composition in particular. Though waves and wind threaten to destroy the ship, it perseveres, clinging to the light even as darkness closes in all around it. Stunning, isn't it? Paintings were the only masterpieces of my people's golden age. This is Van Vianen's lidded ewer, molded from a single sheet of silver.
What was it for?
How like Elizabeth you are. Function over form. Its practical purpose was less important than its meaning. Van Vianen created it in honor of his late brother, who himself was a famous silversmith.
A memorial?
Yes. Such beauty from sorrow. Done so soon?
I've got more important things to worry about.
We both do. There is much we are trying to save. Not the least of which is in that vault. There's nothing wrong with savoring such treasures for a moment.
There you are. Feeling better?
How did you find us? At the cauldron? And what did you do to everyone right before I passed out?
All business, I see. Well, suffice it to say we were keeping a very close eye on Hephaestus, knowing we would need it at some point. Your ruse didn't fool us, and as for my little trick, it was an overload of the senses, accompanied by an energy discharge. Gerard and Eric were only momentarily disoriented due to their shields, but it rendered you unconscious while I got you out. Perhaps some breakfast might steady you a bit?
This was your house. The one you recreated for Beta, in the data channel you shared.
How perceptive of you. Please, this way.
After everything your people have done, you think I'm just gonna sit down and have a chat with you?
They're not my people. They never were, and especially not now.
You shot off into space with them, and lived with them for 1,000 years before coming back. So what made you suddenly turn on them?
Quite simply, this.
I held focus. You repaired it? But that means you've seen
incredible things. What you've accomplished in 2 decades of life. A 1,000 years at my back and I haven't even come close. I'm sorry if I invaded your privacy, but I had to. In order to understand. To be enlightened. You truly are Elizabeth's blood. With her drive, her sense of mission, her integrity. Watching all this shamed me for the company that I've kept. Having seen it, all I want is to help you.
Even if it means stopping your friends?
Especially so. Please, sit down. There. That's better. Now, we must recover Beta and Gaia at all costs. By now, you must know that Gerard intends to use Gaia to reboot the Earth's biosphere. Remaking this world to specifications that would only suit us immortals. This process will kill every living thing on the planet. He calls it a clean install.
Not if I stop him first.
Not if we do. And once he and the others are gone, we can work together to fulfill Elizabeth's dream. I'm sure Beta told you that there's a build of the Apollo database on board our ship. A complete collection of human knowledge. With that and Gaia, we could do everything Elizabeth wanted. Heal the biosphere, educate the people of this world, uplift them. Create the world she imagined.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. From what I've seen, your friends are invincible.
I do wish you would stop calling them my friends. And they're not invincible. In fact, a friend of yours has found a way to defeat them.
Silence.
Oh, he's been a busy bee, building an army powerful enough to crash through Gerard's precious base.
Regala and her rebels.
Even now, she's preparing a final march on the Tenakth capital. When she wins, she'll have the entire tribe under her control. Hundreds of warriors and machines to throw at the base. She's been duped. They'll all perish, of course. But it should be enough to break Gerard's defenses and allow Silence to kill him. Along with all the others.
Using the new weapon he's developed.
Yes, he's found a way to circumvent our shields. Truly an exceptional man. He's planned for everything. Except you and me. You see, while his army is battering down Gerard's doors, you and I will sneak in through a back way. One that only I know about. While Silence and my friends are busy battling each other, we'll take back Beta and Gaia. I told you I want to help you. I mean it.
Minchia.
My old focus. How did you find it, let alone repair it?
When we encountered you at the Hades Proving Lab, Gerard saw you as a redundancy. I knew better. You were a revelation. After your dramatic escape, bravo, by the way. Gerard and Eric assumed you were dead and gave up the hunt. I wasn't so sure. When the others were busy, I returned to the lab and searched for any trace of you. That's when I found this little treasure. Not easy to repair, but certainly worth the effort. As I watched your life unfold, you were like a splash of color on a worn canvas. What Liz was, and more.
Did you show it to the others?
Of course not. It was your actions that inspired me to defy them. It's worth noting that if I hadn't found it and watched its contents, I wouldn't have known to save you at the cauldron. You'd be dead.
So I should be grateful?
If you like.
So you know all about me. What about you?
What would you like to know?
Well, start with your life on Earth.
When I was 8, terrorists flooded my home city. Thousands drowned, my parents included. I was one of the few who survived. My guardian sent me to boarding school. Among my peers, I was the strange girl, the orphan to be avoided. All because of circumstances beyond my control.
Oh. So we're a lot alike, huh?
Aren't we? You were an outcast. But you didn't let that stop you from getting what you needed. Neither did I. I climbed my way out of desolation and used my wits to build a fortune. First from the technical analysis of art and the detection of forgeries. Profitable expertise in those days. But as it turned out, the software I developed was even more useful for counterintelligence. From there, it was only a short step to gathering extremely valuable intelligence on my own.
You were a spy?
More like a service one could turn to for information. I had to remain anonymous, of course, to protect my privacy. But despite that anonymity, Far Zenith inevitably sought me out.
What happened when Far Zenith approached you?
They painted an irresistible vision of humanity's future. One where we need not fear illness or death, where we explored the furthest reaches of the stars and thrived. It was only later that I realized that they only intended to bequeath this future to the rich and powerful. By the time I finally figured it out, the walls were closing in, Pharaoh's machines were devouring the earth. So I accepted Far Zenith's invitation to a berth on the Odyssey. I wanted Liz to come, but she had nobler plans, as you well know.
So you didn't know the other Zeniths were monsters until it was too late?
I knew some of them were, certainly. It wasn't until we were off-planet that I understood the true scope of their greed. I was grateful to simply be alive, but the others became obsessed with a kind of effortless immortality. They built a colony where machines serviced their every need, where any memory or fantasy could be endlessly savored in virtual reality. It wasn't life. It was stultifying. A pampered dream state. As the decades passed, I withdrew more and more, alone yet again. But this time with eons to consider my mistakes. Now finally, having met you, I feel like I have a second chance.
To do what?
Help you, of course. To fulfill Liz's dream, which isn't so different from Far Zenith's original vision. A better future for...
You said Beta is not in urgent danger.
Putting her to work. Merging Hephaestus with Gaia. A difficult, time-consuming task, as I'm sure you know. They will compel her if need be, or she's the only one who can do it.
Because you people made her to be nothing.
Gerard's idea, not mine. They always viewed me with suspicion when I attempted any form of kindness towards her. That's why I created the data channel. A virtual place where we could speak in peace.
So this channel you shared with Beta...
Gerard believes he's the most cunning of all. Even after 1,000 years, he still can't imagine that I would outwit. The channel allowed me to interact with Beta. It offered us a chance to be ourselves.
Until you cut off all contact.
Yes. Though it pained me. I was worried that our meetings would do her more harm than good.
She felt like you tossed aside.
I was afraid the others would punish her. She may not have had, but at least I ensured she... I know it seems harsh, but believe that her well-being...
Why did you make the data channel?
I built this house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place. Not just for me. Cultural artifacts of incalculable...
And you wanted Beta to...
Yes. thought if she could experience Vermeer, and it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable, data being drummed. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret. She needed its shelter even more.
Beta told me your colony was destroyed. That you came back to Earth because you had nowhere else to go.
It's true. After we reached our destination, a planet, we spent decades building a new... The physical constraints of Earth, the boundaries of... To think of what we could have done with it. It might have been a... Instead, we stagnated, absorbed in... It took a cataclysm to find out of our stupor.
What happened?
A massive geological event.
Tipo un terremoto.
We knew of instabilities in the planet, underestimated them. By the time the collapse was upon, only a few of us made it to the ship in time. We set course for Earth, left to us.
Which you decided to make for anyone else.
Not me. He believes it's better to wipe the canvas clean than work or more primitive tribes, no more only a blank pleases. But we will stop him.
What exactly is your plan to sneak into the Zenith base?
We will make use of a lesson I learned from an early age. In this case, a place where Gerard's new construction meets a passage that only... When silent, we will enter through this back door, fighting. The distraction will provide us with a window.
Once we're inside the base, we're...
Here, in the command center. By then, Gaia will have been reunited, including Hephaestus.
What about the Alpha build of Apollo?
A simple matter of recovery. Others have been dealt with. With that in hand, we'll have everything we need.
How do you know about Silence's plan?
He isn't the only one adept at spyware.
You hacked his kiss?
No, he's too careful. But his subordinate, he gave additional focuses to the tribals he branded.
The ones working with Regala.
By tapping their focuses, the distribution of override technology and the secret pact with Regala to attack.
How did he come up with a weapon that can...
That's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out, but however he did it, I'm quite with it in the Tenakth army. Such a shame he'll...
Regala's only interested in killing Hikaru and waging war on the Karja. What does she have to gain by attacking Zeniths?
It's the price she must pay for her war. Without the ability to override her little rebellion.
So she trades with the Sons of Prometheus.
In exchange for an assault on the base. Pride has deluded her into thinking she can actually... And all without ever knowing who the Sons of Prometheus... Yet for all of Silence's that blind spot is what...
While hundreds of Tenakth died. So you knew Elizabeth.
Liz was everything she was. Your ingenuity, your determination. You've managed to distill her greatest qualities in...
I'm not asking about me.
The honest answer, for all the time that I spent with her, she always kept a part of her. It was...
So when you met Elizabeth, she was what?
Not aloof. It was a summit in Paris about machine learning. Because regulatory authorities were just starting to clamp down on AI. Liz gave the keynote address. She had already achieved great, but in her address, an AI-driven system that would actually take responsibility.
To care about life.
Revolutionary stuff. I watched her as she had spoken with such moral authority. I could tell she felt uncomfortable with all. It was as if giving the I didn't want to be a pest, so I...
So how did you finally approach her?
I picked the right moment. Right as she came back to her coffee. She was fresh. It was like she had braced herself, colleagues. I asked if I could then put forth a question about her thought was intelligent. Her answer made me realize it wasn't. But she was very welcoming. Almost as if we were previously. It was only halfway through the conversation exactly who I was. It was... My business was trafficking in secrets and anonymity. So that was Liz. For pet, I came to view a ship. She always seemed to know I knew her.
I guess I know the... First Varl. Now Hikaru and the Tenakth. Your plan would wipe out an entire tribe. There has to be another way.
We are in an
Ma
admittedly
è una tribù di
desperate
coglioni.
situation, but I assure you there isn't. Remember Zero Dawn. Elizabeth's sacrifice. Sometimes many have to die for a new world to grow.
If it looks impossible, look deeper. Wait. The data channel. It still exists, doesn't it? I need you to open it. Let me talk to Beta.
Impossible. We might be detected.
It's worth the risk. There is another way, one where the Tanakh survive.
But we won't. If the others...
If you want to help, open it. What are they doing to her?
Virtual reality dissociation. The manual merge of Hephaestus will take hours upon hours of tedious micromanagement. If she resists the work, they run simulations to induce feelings of isolation and despair.
Beta, can you hear me?
You're alive. They're watching me. I can't hold up this extra projection for long. You should have killed me.
No. No, look at me. I'm coming for you. I promise. Okay? I just need you to hold out a little while longer and work on the merge.
Then I think it can be done.
I'll contact again when it's time. Can you hold on?
As long as I know you're coming for me, I can endure anything.
All right. I did as you asked. Now I think you need to tell me what you're planning.
I'm going to take Silent's army away. I don't need it. Only the weapon he made to penetrate your shields.
And how do you propose to get it? Ask him nicely?
Without Regala and her rebels, he won't have a choice. We'll be his only option.
Only option for what? What did you tell her?
That is between me and my sister. Will be Silent's only option for crashing that base. I'll tell you the rest later. But first, there are a couple of things I have to do.
Oh. And what are those?
Lay my friend to rest.
What I do?
And then I'm going to use the override that Beta gave me at Gemini to put an end to Regala's rebellion. From the air.
Wait. Since you insist on doing things your way, I know of something that will truly help you make a grand entrance with the Tanakh team. The ancient Horus Titans still possess electromagnetic energy cells as part of their arsenal. Drop one of those on Regala's army and they'll receive quite a surprise. So go, do what you must. I'll come to your base if you manage to bring Silence to the table.
Not if. When.
Okay.
Erend, are you there?
Aloy! Aloy, is that really you?
Yeah, it's me. Where's everyone else?
We're all... we're back at base. What happened?
It might be easier to explain in person. I'll try to join you there when I can.
Okay.
Allora,
We'll wait here for you. It's good to hear your voice, Aloy.
dato che adesso entriamo in una parte, direi, qua fa il scene, in una parte che definirei di endgame quasi, cioè di endgame, di avvicinarsi alla fine del gioco. Endgame è il termine sbagliato. Direi che riprendiamo un'altra volta. Io direi che riuscirò a fare un'altra live prima, ovviamente, di fine settimana. E in quella live cercherò di finire il gioco o eventualmente di arrivare proprio a quasi alla fine, in modo da poter affrontare l'ultima missione e bam. Quindi grazie per averci seguito, facciamo finire sto dialoghetto.
I've sent you data on the Horus energy cells you can use against Regala's forces. Reach out to me when you're ready to acquire one.
Pazzia. Che bello. A posto. Ciao a tutti, buonanotte.